All right, YouTube. I got new mics and I got gimbal with AI tracking, and it's kind of gimmicky. I don't know. I'm doing quotes from my site. The first one here that I'm going to be doing is David Hume. It is natural for us to seek a standard of taste, a rule by which the various sentiments of men may be reconciled, at least a decision afforded, confirming one sentiment and condemning another. I'm pretty much all about this, but the first thing that you have to talk about is the notion of God. And God has no definition. It appeals to the individual's notion of universality. So it's like, it's not real universality. It just says it is, and then it's up to you to sort of figure out what that means. And so people will group together looking for that universality, but what are they doing? They're expressing their particularity at the ground level, laterally between each other. They're never getting to universality. What's universal? They're still expressing their regional, local attitudes as universal. And all it ends up being is synonymous with culture. God is synonymous with culture, whatever it is you're affirming at the ground level. And then what it is just a note of exclusion. This is your permission to exclude based on all these hundreds of particularities that you don't like or that are different than you. Now, if you strip God out of it, now all of a sudden there's no reason to be doing this because it hurts you from a naturalistic perspective. You become more socially mobile when you stop excluding based on particularity and things that are unnecessary. The other side of it is the affirmation of universality. And the cool thing about this is you don't get to choose. You were born a human. There's a universality between us that ethics emerges from. If I could make this argument to him, I would, about a common sentiment that we include and exclude by. It's not just about inclusion. And I think we're learning that now more than ever. We all need the same things: food, air, water, shelter, healthcare, education. There's no one of us that's above any other on this planet. I don't care how much money you have, how much power you have no right to decide another should die. And in fact, you have a duty to try to make sure that humanity and life in general is preserved. That's the only one principle that we have to live by: the preservation of life and a balance of justice between each other and the world. Those that exclude by particularity should be excluded by those who affirm and preserve a fundamental, necessary universal that preserves human life, okay? We have a duty to react and exclude them in reaction. That's a difference from their affirmation of a particularity as a universal. That's the fundamental crime. We're forced to react and exclude. And even we're not doing that in a harsh manner. We're doing it because we have to, and so we afford them certain civil grounds, right? Which is weak. And we can put them in their fucking cages while they're calling us weak. Or we can exclude them somewhere geographically where they can go and they can build their libertarian utopias or whatever. Just get out and go kill each other, because that's what you're going to do. Because that mentality of exclusion, as soon as it doesn't have an obvious other to destroy or eliminate, it turns on itself and destroys itself all the way down to what? One person. And then what? Is that person supposed to commit suicide? Like, what's the end goal? If he doesn't commit suicide, have you lost? Is that person God now? You're crazy. And we need to exclude you in order to get by in this information age. There's a lot more there than what Hume said, but that's what these quote videos should be. For me, is not necessarily trying to extract the context by which Hume made his quote, but just how I feel in the current situation, kind of like a preacher. Except I have reality on one side and academic philosophy on the other. So you guys, if you like this kind of philosophical subject matter, help us out by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.